Welcome to episode 25 of the show. Coming up, Deshaun Watson gets his final verdict on his suspension, and we talk about it. Trey Lance, we talk about his potential. Aaron Rodgers calls out his entire young receiving core. CM Punk has some AEW drama, and we give our NFL predictions. But before we get started, I need three things from you. Number one, hit the subscribe button. Number two, leave a comment on the video and let us know who your Super Bowl pick is. And number three, smash the like button to help us get found in the algorithm. Ladies and gentlemen, another week of the show starts now.
Woo!
Huh?
That was pretty good. I think that was flawless.
I know, right?
That might have been the best intro we've had yet.
It was just dumb luck.
Yeah. So what's going on?
Nothing. I got I'm trying some twisted tea today.
Twisted Tea. Is that Mike's or just just Twisted Tea, right?
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
name of it.
Yeah. Any good?
Um, I don't know yet. I guess. I guess so. It doesn't really taste like anything.
It doesn't taste like tea, at least.
No.
Oh. Well, that's not good.
Yeah, it tastes like not.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm still drinking. I've got like 5 more of these bastards. Forbidden Magic Strawberry Illusion War Pig beer.
Oh, you're still going through those?
Yeah, I bought a 6-pack. I've only had one. Figure I'd save them for
Well,
special occasions.
you save them for each week of the show, you'll be good.
Oh, they're awful. Tastes nothing like strawberry. Nothing.
Maybe it's an acquired taste. It'll
No,
start tasting good later.
there was a beer I had that kind of had grapefruit in it. That was pretty good.
Ew.
I don't know. It was kind of sweet. It worked. Worked for me anyway. That was
I
kind
don't
of
like grapefruit.
yeah. That's fair. Anyway, it was refreshing, and even if you don't like grapefruit, like you could tell it was grapefruit. If I told you, like if I didn't tell you there was strawberry, allegedly in this beer. Well, even if I did tell you there was strawberry, you couldn't fucking taste it. It just tastes like raccoon anus.
I have no idea what that tastes like, so.
It tastes like War Pigs, Forbidden Magic Strawberry, whatever beer. It's great.
There you go, War Pigs. Step your game up.
Likewise, Twisted Tea.
Yeah. I don't even know if this. It doesn't taste like there's even alcohol in this. I mean, it says there is, but.
That's the drawback with getting stuff that tastes good. Is they sacrifice they sacrifice the alcohol content for the flavor.
Yeah. They're
Like
too busy
remember wine
on the
coolers?
flavor. Yeah. But they catch you, though.
How do they catch you?
You just, like, you're drinking away and then boom.
Oh, I've never been
You're on the floor.
over a wine cooler.
You drink enough of them, yeah.
No.
They'll get you there.
Uh-uh.
We got drunk off of wine coolers before.
No, we got drunk off of Smirnoff. That's a step above a wine
That too.
cooler.
I remember wine coolers. We drunk enough of them, and we were loopy.
You might have been.
You were too. Don't try to deny it.
I wasn't drunk.
You were. You were waving your shirt around. Woo!
Man, wine coolers are delicious.
They are. That's why. And then that's why they sneak up on you because you're just drinking. It's like, oh, this just tastes good.
No. You know what really fucks you up is wine for some reason. I'm sure there's like some scientific explanation for it, but wine will really get you there, and or champagne.
Yeah, I like the wine that tastes like, well, the sweet one.
Of
There's
course.
the bitter one, the
Mm.
Sauvignon or whatever.
I think a sommelier is the uh, wine guy or gal.
Oh, Cabernet Sauvignon. I don't know. I'm not a wine person, as you can tell.
Yeah.
I just know when I taste one, it's good, and the red wines are usually not so good. I mean, there's a couple, but you know,
Right.
I'm a sweet person.
Yeah, you're starting to crackle just a little bit.
Oh, what about now?
You sound good.
I'm a sweet person.
Oh well. I don't want. I don't. I don't want to comment on your sweetness.
I need my sweets, honey buns, all the sweets. Not
Man,
fruity, just sweet.
have you tried the chocolate honey buns?
No,
Oh, they're pretty
I've
good.
never seen one.
Oh yeah, they make them.
I've seen the like white icing ones. Those are a little overwhelming, but
Yeah, they're a good idea, but the traditional honey bun, of course, is where it's at.
yeah, can't have enough of the traditional.
Right.
And then when they're warm a little bit too. Oh, anyway, this is not a food show.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Although we could keep going.
did we mention Little Debbie in the intro? So where are we starting?
Well, we can start off light here, and then we'll work our way down the row.
Okay.
Um, so let's start with Trey Lance.
All right.
So he, and I told you people are pretty high on him.
Yeah.
Well, according to an article by Sports Illustrated, some think he is the next Patrick Mahomes.
Right. Well,
Now
uh,
why?
go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say why you want to be the next anybody is beyond me. You want to be the first you, as they always say. But
Well, I think I saw it. You said Sports Illustrated, right?
yes,
Yeah, I think I saw the same thing. It was actually a video. And I was about to shit on the entire thing too. Kind of. I mean, you're being mild mannered about it, but I was about ready to just take a big old hefty one on every word of this article. But when I listened to the reasoning behind it, I mean, I still think it's bullshit, but at least it's not just trying to compare, Batman and Superman type deal. Um, but according to Sports Illustrated, the reason why uh, Trey Lance is just like Patrick or the next Patrick Mahomes is because he sat behind an established vet in Jimmy Garoppolo, while Patrick Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith. And then Trey Lance was coached by a highly regarded offensive mastermind and Kyle Shanahan, and of course, Mahomes is with Andy Reid, and then the guy that looks like Freeway. I don't know. Was it Beheim? But Bellamy?
I don't even know.
Okay.
I should know, but I don't know.
Okay. Well, him and yeah,
So that's their thing. Oh,
yeah,
he sat a year, which he didn't, by the way, and and he sat a year and he's got an offensive minded coach. That's
yeah.
that. So that makes him
Which I mean,
Patrick Mahomes.
I know Alex Smith isn't a might not be a Hall of Famer, but I think comparing him to Garoppolo is really unfair. Like Garoppolo, like the only thing Garoppolo has done is fill in for Brady when he was, or did he lose the Super Bowl too?
Um, that was Kaepernick.
No, no, no. Didn't they go to the Super Bowl against somebody?
Who?
The Chiefs, maybe?
Who?
The 49ers, I'm sorry.
49ers?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Who did the Kansas City Chiefs beat in the Super Bowl?
Um, that is a good question. Well, let's just say they did. I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was the 49ers. So, okay. So, Jimmy Garoppolo's claim to fame is losing a Super Bowl and, filling in for Tom Brady, not basically not having a losing record for New England while Tom Brady was injured. I think comparing Jimmy Garoppolo to Matt Schwab would be a more apt comparison, or hell, even Matt Castle. But I don't know. I think Alex Smith is a little bit more accomplished, despite the fact that there's no Super Bowl under Alex's resume, win or lose, loss. And then comparing
Well,
Kyle Shanahan to fucking Andy Reid is just a joke.
I mean, Jimmy G, he does win games. He does have that for him. I don't know what it is about it. He just wins games.
He's not awful. I
His
mean,
problem,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, his problem is he can't stay healthy.
Right. Well, I don't know.
Oh, and there's other stuff about him. Apparently, this is all coming out later, but
Right. Well, just the tone. Like ever since he got to San Francisco, it just seemed like they had buyer's remorse from the day he got there. I don't know what it is. Just the vibe.
well, that comes into his apparently his off the field behavior.
What does he do off the
I
field?
told you he's dating prom stars,
Oh,
so there's that. Uh, and then there's just recently they were talking about like how he doesn't return, he doesn't answer like text from his coach. So
okay.
there's
See,
that.
that's why it's even more of a joke to compare fucking Kyle Shanahan to Andy Reid. What a fucking bitch. God, no wonder he's never won a Super Bowl. No wonder Kyle Shanahan will only be remembered as the guy that has been in the two worst Super Bowl collapses in history. He's been behind both of them. That's going to be his claim to fame. That and the fact that his daddy was more of a coach than he'll ever be, and he'll always be under his shadow. Fucking text messages. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So yeah, that's where his thing is. But again, Jimmy, he wins. That's all I can really say about it. He's not he's not a guy that'll blow you away with his skill. You know, he's no Malik Willis. Go ahead and say that now. Again, I don't have anything against the guy. Just saying. Now, as far as Trey Lance, I don't think there's enough tape on him yet to say he's like an all-star already.
Right.
They didn't do good last year. He got hurt last year. He's not played in the preseason this year, so we don't have a big sample size to say, oh, this guy's a star.
I will say he's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, and again, everybody's high on him, as you see.
Um, he kind of reminds me of Dante Culpepper a little bit, just from the highlights that I've seen. The only thing that I don't, and it might just be me, it might be the plays that I saw, but his release kind of seems really slow. Like it doesn't seem like he gets. Kind of seems like he shot puts the ball instead of just throwing a dart. But again, it could just be me. Which again, I don't think if you were to compare it to Mahomes, Mahomes would be more along the line of like a Brett Favre.
Yeah, he's definitely a Brett Favre. Now,
100%.
Mahomes, you kind of knew right away that he had the arm talent, or he had this. Well, yeah, arm talent. You knew that right away, like him throwing 70-yard balls from his knee, um,
Yeah. Well,
and just like
Kyle
when you
Bullard
see
did
him
that
in.
though.
Oh, where's he at?
Probably selling cars or something. I don't know.
Exactly. He's nowhere.
But he was with the Ravens. You don't remember he was
But
throwing on his knee and everybody was like, "Oh man, he's awesome! Oh, we won the Super Bowl now."
yeah, yeah. There's one thing to have a big arm, but I don't know. The you just knew right away that
Jamarcus Russell.
this kid had talent. Um, Also, when you saw him in Texas Tech and stuff like that, or if you saw him in Texas Tech, I saw him in Texas Tech. He played Texas 4 times, and every year it was like, oh God, this guy.
I'll be honest with you, I don't think I've ever heard of him until he started for the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah, I knew it. Being in that Texas pipeline,
Sure.
I knew about him coming out of high school. You hear stories of you hear stories of coaches crying because they didn't recruit him because he's that good.
Yeah, you're in the coach's loop.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying this is just what you hear.
So
I hear this from the
the
local radio personnel who are in the coach's loop.
oh, let me finish. Okay. So he was highly touted.
Yeah. Talking about the Mac Brown was crying because he didn't recruit Mahomes. He sat up crying at night. It's like, okay. And you know this how? You in this house?
Well, I think in hindsight, wouldn't all the coaches be crying?
Well, now,
And
yeah.
I don't know why a college coach would be crying. It's not like he won any national championships.
Well, it was just their story to say he was that talented
Oh, I see.
that, he brought people to tears with his magical ability.
Well, I don't know. He's good. I'm glad it's working out for him, but
Something
like I
like,
said, I never heard of him. I don't know why people get
oh,
so allow themselves to get so overhyped on somebody. You think they learned their lesson?
I don't know. You just think that's going to be the next guy. You want to, well, not you, but like ESPN. You think they think that's going to be the next guy, and they want to sink their teeth into him and start suckling.
Right. And I get that, but you would think like after so many times of being wrong, you would just kind of pump the brakes just a little bit, just a tad.
Yeah, but I don't. You may have not noticed, but there a lot of ESPN thrives off of talking about the star of the whatever league. Like they ain't gonna spend time talking about the low guys. You get those articles on ESPN website, but on the TV shows and the first takes and the speak for yourself and um, the one with Mike Wilbon and Tony Reali. What? Tony Reali? Pardon the interruption. There we go. You
Yeah.
know, they got to have that star, so they try to create the stars so that they always have content.
Yeah, I understand that, but I don't know. They lose their credibility when they're wrong. So
Mm, they say it's like a weatherman. You can
I
be wrong
guess
all the time and keep your job.
fair enough. I mean, ESPN.
I mean,
I haven't watched ESPN in years. So
Mel Kiper said Patrick Mahomes was going to be a bust, so there's that.
yeah. Well, Mel Kiper needs a haircut.
And I think I almost wanted. Yeah, there's another one. I don't know. Someone I saw it on Twitter. By the way, follow us on Twitter. That they did like 10 times he was like miserably wrong or something.
Yeah.
It's like, well, of course, don't try to highlight the times he was right, just the ones he was wrong on.
Well, how many times has ESPN been right?
I don't know, a lot. They've been wrong a lot too, but
Who have they
I
been
think
right on?
the uh LeBron James,
Well, that doesn't count.
they they suckled on him in high school.
Everybody suckled on him in high school.
Like he was getting.
I was in the area. I know. I know the hype of LeBron.
I almost think, if I remember correctly, I think they were suckling Peyton Manning too. Like as soon as he threw his first pass or something.
Yeah, he lived up to it.
And now Arch Manning
Yeah.
is going to the UT. They're already suckling on him. He's in 8th grade, which is weird.
Suckling him in a way that normal people would have to register for certain websites.
Yeah. Speaking of Texas, by the way, I just want to say if you're concerned about Alabama going to another national championship, which of course they'll probably get there anyway, you Texas can take those concerns away because we are playing Alabama week 1, so they're gonna have a loss on their first day of the season, and that being Alabama.
So you're saying Texas is going to be Alabama?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course we are on our way to competing for a national championship.
Doesn't Alabama have a Heisman Trophy candidate, quarterback?
Yes,
Okay. Probably a running back too.
probably the whole team,
and
but they're
then
not
there's
Texas though, so
and then there's
that's
the no. Texas has some. Yeah. Texas has to suck a lot of dick before they can sit at the table.
No, we're gonna beat Alabama, and then everybody's gonna we're gonna get those Texas is back articles and
And then you're gonna
everything, and
lose the rest of the games for the rest of the
no, and then we're
season.
gonna keep winning,
Oh, okay.
go undefeated. This is gonna be the start of like a 10-year run of not losing a game.
I hate to
One
break it to
game.
you, but Sarkeesian ain't gonna be the guy to do it.
Oh, he's gonna get out. But we're not gonna lose though. We're gonna keep winning, and he's gonna get replaced. He's gonna do something. He's gonna retire, and we're gonna pick up Nick Saban. I don't want to give away all the secrets here, so we can move on.
So, Nick Saban is gonna replace Sarkeesian, who's just gonna leave magically.
Yeah,
He's just gonna
yeah,
disappear, just not show up one day. Where's
yeah.
Steve? I don't know. He didn't show up. His parking
He's
space is
been
empty.
he's been replaced.
Well, that's after the search party, right? You gotta find Steve.
No, because he'll be there, Saban. So they'll be like, who?
Gotcha.
But
Well,
yeah, I just wanted to throw that out that we are playing Alabama week 1, so they will have a loss, and then we don't have to worry about them competing for the national championship.
according to Paul Feinbaum, there's only one team that can beat Alabama.
Who would that be?
Ohio State.
Well, then I guess that's good for
So,
for you.
so that means that ain't good for me. I'm not a Buckeye fan anymore.
Oh, that's awkward.
Yeah, but
Well, that's good for Ohio State.
that was good for Ohio State. If they don't choke again.
Who are you a fan of?
I don't know.
You jumping on that? You want to jump on the Texas bandwagon? There's
No.
room. You just gotta warm your knees up when you jump.
I was a fan of Texas when they had Young and Mac Brown and stuff, but then I don't know. I didn't like how they got rid of Mac Brown. I don't like how they only give head coach they give decent head coaches like 2 years to succeed, while shitty head coaches get like 4 or 5 years. And yeah, just Texas isn't Texas anymore. You don't see Texas on your schedule and perk up a little bit. You don't practice a little harder.
That's what you think.
That's what I know.
Everybody still, everybody still
Think about no. Think
prepares.
think about it from a playing perspective. You you look on your schedule. You see, Tulane. You see Austin P. You see Appalachian State. You see Minnesota. Then you see Oklahoma. And then the week after Oklahoma, Texas. Which one? Would you actually practice for?
Texas.
Okay.
Oh, we gotta circle that Texas game.
Okay.
You know why? Because it's gonna be on national television, so the world's gonna be watching that game. That's facts.
That don't mean nothing. I'm talking about as a player.
That is. What do you mean? As a player, you're trying to get to the NFL.
As a
What
player,
better
yeah. And who are you gonna beat?
showcase?
Who are you gonna beat? You ain't gonna beat Oklahoma. You'll beat
Well, what better
Texas.
showcase than
You'll hammer
a
Texas.
nationally televised game?
So, just saying.
You're just worried
Texas.
about the wrong things. I'm talking about the money. I'm talking about the fame. I'm talking about national television with the world watching ABC, ESPN primetime, 7 o'clock kickoff.
which don't
That's what I'm
mean
talking about.
which don't mean shit in a cup of coffee if the product on the field is ass, which Texas has been for forever now. They're
They still
not.
get the slots.
Fuck the slot. Okay, so does Notre Dame. Great.
Okay, you
Congratulations.
show up. You show out
Congratulations.
against Notre Dame, you're a star.
Congratulations. The Longhorns are the Notre Dame of the South. Well done. I'd be proud of
We'll
that
take
too.
that.
Oh, we just get the TV slots for no reason.
We make the money.
Okay. Do you win the games?
It's not all about winning.
Yes, it is.
Unless you're Alabama, no one's winning.
It's all about winning. That's the only thing
Unless
that
you're
matters.
Alabama, unless you're Alabama, no one else is winning.
You know what gets time slots? Is winning games. Do you
Okay,
remember before Nick Saban? When was the last time you saw a fucking Alabama game on television? Exactly.
uh, okay. Let's talk about this then. You want to talk about college football? Clemson. Okay, they had their little run. They won a couple of championships. Last year, they fell off a map, and now you'd be lucky to find them on TV this year.
Okay.
So,
Because they haven't been winning.
yeah.
Time slots should be for winners.
No, time slots are for
And
the
just
blue
because
bloods.
UT is a pussy school, and they need their own little special TV station to televise their games, as opposed to competing for airtime,
I
like
know. What
like
other school
like men
can have
do.
their own network and hold it? What other school can withhold their own network?
Mm.
Again, Clemson ain't holding their own network.
What are you talking? Oh, I guess we were talking about Clemson.
Anyway, we can go on with that for forever.
Yeah.
I think we should go on to our next story. Our actual next story. Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah.
He. Remember we were talking about how when you go to these press conferences, no one ever says anything. It's all like PC,
Yeah.
straight and narrow. Well, Aaron Rodgers said, "Fuck that." He called out his whole receiving core,
Yeah, he sure did.
and I mean, calling out is a strong word. Really, all he said was, we're not running routes correctly, we're dropping balls.
Yeah.
He essentially said, the guys who can make the plays are going to be the ones on the field.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with what he said.
No. Um, I I think I think it's his delivery. I think Aaron comes across, and he might very well be an asshole.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He doesn't talk to his own family.
Well, there might be reasons for that. I don't talk to my own family, and I get that.
Because you're an asshole.
Maybe, I guess. But yeah, I don't think he said anything completely outrageous. I think maybe his tone. Now, to keep in mind though, his most experienced receivers are Randall Cobb and Sammy Watkins, and
Pretty good. I mean, Watkins is pretty old, but I
Yeah,
wouldn't say pretty old. He's up there. He's on his downward years.
would you say he's pretty good?
Yeah, I mean, at his peak, he was pretty good.
Okay. I don't. I
Randall
remember him
Cobb,
just
he
being
was
a.
good.
Yeah, Randall Cobb. I remember being pretty good, and he has familiarity with Rodgers and how he plays. Sammy Watkins, I just remember being a disappointment. Either way, though, um, that's his most experienced receivers, um, and he brought it on himself. If like he's bitching about the consistency and how they're not like in sync and stuff. I mean, they did have Devonte Adams before he basically chased him out.
Right. Well, Devonte Adams said recently that the reason he left is because he didn't know if Rodgers was coming back.
Yeah, because Rodgers is doing that
Oh,
fucking.
all this is yeah,
Yeah, Rodgers is doing the fucking Brett Favre thing, where I'm gonna retire the next year. I don't know if I'm gonna come back. I might sign somewhere else. I don't know this. I don't know that. And then he comes back, and then he just does it again the next year. And eventually, if you're a superstar that's reliant on somebody else to be a superstar, you want some consistency, right?
right. I mean, he there was no dancing around. Pretty much he definitely wanted out of Green Bay
Right.
because they drafted Jordan Love.
Uh huh.
Like there was no wavering there. He wanted out.
Sure.
Uh, why he's not out, I don't know. I forgot what came about to where that just kind of smoothed itself out, but he didn't want to be there. He still doesn't want to be there. I suspect he's just playing for his next contract or something for his next team. I don't know. Just
But isn't he
but
isn't he there for like 4 or 5 years though? I thought it was like a 4 or 5 year contract.
did he sign a long term deal?
I thought it was. I gotta look it up.
But yeah, he definitely said he did. I don't want to be here. So,
Yeah, he's. I don't know.
but
Like
that's
they.
just like a vote of confidence for Jordan Love.
It's
If
just really.
your number one receiver, go ahead. Sorry,
No, I was interrupting you.
I was just saying that's a vote of confidence for Jordan Love. If your number one receiver says, "Oh, this quarterback is leaving, so I don't want to be here anymore," because no one believes in Jordan Love. He is not the next guy.
Why'd they draft him then? Jesus.
Oh, they thought he was the next guy. They probably still think he's the next guy.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he's not the next guy. I've seen enough from him to know he's not the next guy.
Okay, so Rodgers signed for 3 years. Still, isn't he? He's like fucking. He's 38. And he's already talking
So
about
maybe
like
this is
I ain't playing to my 50s like Brady.
so he's probably this is his last contract. We could probably say.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting how Jay Cutler was always lambasted for seemingly not caring about the organization he played for, or didn't take the sport seriously enough. But I think Rodgers is worse than Jay Cutler.
How so?
Just his attitude, man. Like I never heard Jay Cutler publicly say he wanted out of Denver.
Well, yeah, it's because he didn't care.
Okay.
He didn't care, and yeah. I mean, he had the arm talent, and he had the talent, not even just arm, like all the way around. He had the talent, but
Right.
he didn't care. He wasn't when he threw an interception or lost the game, and he's on the sideline smiling. That's not what they wanted to see. They wanted to see him throwing his helmet and stuff so they can say he has attitude problems.
I would personally rather have that than some guy telling me that he wants out every year. I don't know if I won't be here. Maybe I'll just retire. Especially like as an organization, you spent like almost a decade with Brett Favre doing that shit. Remember? They had to kick him out of Green Bay.
Oh yeah, yeah. His little I'm gonna retire.
I'm
And then
retiring this year. Oh no, I'm not. And then he went through.
conveniently right after the camps, the OTAs.
Yeah.
I think I'm good. I'm back now.
Well, then he went so far
Start
as to
week one.
he went so far as to do a press conference, and then eventually like Green Bay's like, no, no, you're not. We did a press conference for you. No, that's it. And then they got Rodgers, and
There's a
Rodgers
up down.
Rodgers is he's doing the same shit. Like I don't understand. He was there for that. I don't know why he's doing the same stuff. I just think he needs to shut the fuck up because he needs to like he made that bed. So whatever deficiencies with the receiving core he sees is his fault. So he needs to play better. He needs to make sure that they don't drop the passes. It's not up to the receivers because he had the best one in the league.
So he's got to run out there and catch it for him too.
Yes.
Okay.
That
makes sense.
If your actions and your attitude remove the best player on that squad, yeah, you need to step up. You can't point fingers because the what you have left isn't playing up to par. You need to play better, Mr. Hall of Famer, Mr. Greatest quarterback that's ever played the game. Yada yada yada. Fucking live up to your goddamn moniker for once. Jesus Christ.
Well, he can only do so much.
He hasn't done anything.
He can't play all 12 or all 11 positions on the field.
He doesn't play the one very well.
Okay.
Well, okay, maybe. Fair enough. Okay. But he doesn't play it to the level that's deserving of all the praise that he's gotten. He was being called the greatest quarterback in the league when Tom Brady was winning Super Bowls. How the fuck does that make sense? It doesn't.
I think they were judging that off of.
There's nothing to judge it off of.
I mean, they're always saying he's the most talented.
No, they say he's the best quarterback, the greatest quarterback in the league, probably the best quarterback that's ever played. I've heard it with my own lying ears. I fucking heard it.
Right.
Those are the experts, and he's aside from 1 year, he has not lived up to it.
Well, I understand what you're saying.
And his recent actions, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be in Green Bay. I want to go someplace that appreciates me. I want to go someplace that's open to ideas. Blah, 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 blah. That attitude causes your number one receiver, the receiver that the same experts that say you're the greatest quarterback in the league say this motherfucker is the greatest receiver in the league. He leaves because you're a bitch. And the only thing that you have to claim to your fame is overhype and a Super Bowl that you won like 12 years ago. Shut the fuck up. Step up.
Oh, I think he can only step up so much. I don't see anything wrong with what he said, really. Like, they're young receivers. There's a level of play that is expected in Green Bay. So, yeah, if you need to, he wasn't calling out someone like, "Hey, Lazard, you're missing routes." He just said, as a whole receiving core,
no,
we're missing routes, we're dropping balls.
His comments by themselves are fine. His the fact that he said what he said is fine. But at the end of the day, all of his complaints are his fault because his best receiver left because of him. So
Right.
instead of bitching about the play of his young receivers, he needs to step up and either help them get better or play better. He can live up to his fucking name, the greatest quarterback ever. Bullshit that
Well, how
they've
can
been
he help
saying.
them get better if he doesn't tell them what they're doing wrong?
Why doesn't he tell them that instead of telling the reporters that he's talking to?
Well, they put the camera in. I'm sorry, the microphone in his face as soon as the game was over.
So you're gonna tell
They're
reporters what's wrong before? Come on,
he's at his he's sitting
come
at his
on.
locker, and the when if you look at the clip, he's at his locker. He's not out in his driveway shirtless doing this interview.
Doing sit-ups.
Like he, yeah,
Now, now I do think the. Oh wait, they were camping out on his driveway, weren't they? It was
yeah,
To. It was To Watch. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah. They
Carry
were
on.
stalking him for whatever reason.
But I mean, he could have just said they need to work on consistency and just I don't know their timing. He could have left it vague, but no, it was super specific. And again, by themselves, but as an isolated thing, don't have an issue with what he said. But when you dissect it, you peel back the layer of that onion. He just needs to shut the fuck up and either help these young guys get better or he needs to play better. Because
Well, we'll see.
he had his position equivalent according to the experts. His position equivalent at wide receiver was on his team, and he drove him out. That guy's in
Right.
California now because of Aaron Rodgers. Nobody else.
He's with the Oakland Raidies. There, I had to say it. It was gonna happen before we do the standings anyway, so. I, I might as well get the voice warmed up now.
I get tired of hearing about Aaron Rodgers. He's a pet peeve of mine.
Well, on that note, we can move on. Deshaun Watson, he has been suspended. He has gotten his final suspension, 11 games,
Are they?
which is an increase. Oh, good.
Or did he appeal that at all? I thought I read something that he did, or did I
No,
misread that?
so let's do a review here.
Okay.
He gets 6 games at first.
Right.
Goodell comes out and says, "Oh no, we're
Bullshit.
gonna go for more games.
Yeah.
You predator, and we're
You
going for the whole year."
scum.
Yeah, we're going for the
You
whole year.
unconvicted scum.
Yeah, with no cases,
Yeah.
one. But we're gonna go for the whole year, and then they settled. I don't know the in between 6 games in the whole year. We settled on 11 games.
Okay.
When they got the 11 games, Deshaun Watson he came out and said, "I'm just gonna take it, whatever. I just want to put this behind," which I think is kind of a. I think you can take 11 games.
Yeah. I mean, the
It's not the
season's a
whole
wash
year
anyway.
now. Yeah, it's not the whole year. I don't know if he should even play this year regardless. Like with that 11 game suspension, you're not making it to the playoffs and you got this big contract, so you might as well just wait till next year.
I think it depends. It depends on where the Browns are, how well Jacoby Brissett's or Jimmy Garoppolo is playing. I mean, there's a lot of factors into it. I'd say in a perfect world, yeah, just sit him for all year. But keep in mind, he hasn't played football in a while.
2 years, yeah.
so he might need all the reps he can get.
But you're gonna play him in games. Oh, well, I guess you
Well,
could.
if you're playing like the Giants or something, or the Jets, I mean, if you're playing, you know, Kansas City or something, yeah, sit him. But if it's just basically going to be a glorified scrimmage, then might as well give him the
Oh,
practice.
his first game's back against Houston, so there's a
Yeah,
story in itself.
well, not really, because Houston's going to suck, and Houston's going to have other problems to worry about other than their former quarterback coming to trounce on them.
I know, but you know the other part of the story. Let's take football out of it for a second. The other part of the story. That's what's going to be the story. How are the fans going to react? Like, are they going to, the
I
who
think
did they play in the preseason?
Jacksonville.
They played they played Jacksonville. The Jacksonville fans were chanting "You sick fuck." So,
I think wasn't somebody else chanting "No means no."
uh, I don't. They may have also done that one, but
Yeah,
I know the "You sick fuck" kind of stuck out to me.
gotcha. Well, I think that's going to be the case with every game. I don't think that's going to be exclusive to just Houston. I think every fan base is going to treat him hostilely, especially when we live in a time where I don't know, crybabies publicly throw tantrums when their perceived desired result doesn't happen.
Yeah. Oh, who's getting canceled? But um, yeah, I don't think they're. It'll be interesting to see if they play him again. He's got the big contract. Um, they're not going to have a winning record. We'll just go ahead and say that. Like at the time he's eligible, they would have gone through Los Angeles, New England, Baltimore, Buffalo. Like
Uh,
that's just they're just taking L's.
it.
So
I mean,
he's not
there's
gonna. They're not gonna be competing for a playoff spot.
it. It depends. The Browns have a good team. I mean, I think the wide receivers are a little sus, and obviously Jacoby Brissett's not the greatest quarterback that's ever played. But I mean, Nick Foles isn't either, and he took the Eagles to the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not saying that Jacoby Brissett's going to do that with the Browns, but he might surprise you. It might be one of those bubble things where Deshaun
He can
Watson
keep them
playing.
afloat.
Yeah, because New England's
I would
not
like
New
to see
England.
that.
New England's got offensive troubles right now, so they definitely won't beat the Bills.
Yeah, and the Bengals.
Yeah,
Uh, you can toss up if they're gonna be Baltimore or not.
right. I think
The jury's still out on who they're gonna be.
I think they'll. I think yeah. I think the Ravens will beat them.
But um, he made a statement, Sean Watson, on his thing. Pretty much said, "I'm taking this. I'm taking this suspension, but don't get it mistaken. I'm innocent."
Right.
So now people are on him for that. Like,
Yeah, they are.
oh, he's not.
He
Why is
just
he
doesn't
not
get it.
like? Yeah, why is he not claiming? Like he even apologized to anybody that was hurt during this process, and they're like, "Well, who are you apologizing to if you didn't do anything?" Well, the people involved in all these stories.
Yeah, the people that are suing me. Apparently they
Yeah,
feel wrong.
But
It's
yeah,
so
no,
dumb.
people are on him for still holding on to his innocence.
See, and the more I hear shit like that, the more I become a fan of his. Like, I didn't think much of Watson before, like when he was in Houston and stuff. But then this happened, and of course it's disgusting behavior. But then the facts and the legal process kind of runs its course, and you just have to accept it. That's the way it is. If there was
Yeah, I
something to
mean, I like
criminally
the
charge him
fact.
with, especially with 25 counts of alleged assault, I mean, you would think with all of that smoke, there'd be enough fire to charge him with something, right?
Right.
And
And they
two
didn't.
two grand juries decided not to charge him, not just one. So, I mean, yeah, motherfucker can say he's innocent all he wants.
Yeah. And I just like the fact that he's like, whatever. Let's just move on.
Yeah,
Give me. There's no way I'm getting past this without any suspension, so let's just move on.
right. Well, I read somewhere that
So,
he was trying to negotiate for 8 games.
oh, yeah, that was beforehand. And then he got
Yeah,
the 6 games.
yeah.
And
Well, I
then
thought that.
they said,
Well, doesn't matter.
well, no, I think it was after, yeah, I think you're right. After this, he got the 6 games, and then Goodell called him Predator.
Yeah,
I'm gonna, we're getting you the whole season. And then,
Predator.
um, I think at that point when he knew that they were going after the entire season, he said, "I'm, I'll settle for 8 games."
Okay,
And then they got the 11 games, and
right.
he was just like, "Whatever, we'll take it." Now, one quarterback that is already starting to rumors are starting to heat up in trades. Jimmy Garoppolo. Um, there's reports, or there's I wouldn't say there's reports, but there's definitely talks of maybe trying to bring him in
Right.
for that 11 game stretch to try to keep your team afloat. But he's also, I was watching the Seattle preseason game, and they had a lengthy conversation about Jimmy G going to Seattle because whatever they have at quarterback right now is not it. So
Didn't they trade
it'd
for
be. Mhm.
Seattle specifically traded for Drew Lock though, didn't they?
They didn't trade for him; they got him.
Oh, okay.
They got him in the trade with for um, Wilson.
So what was Seattle's incentive for Wilson? Was it just first round picks?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then they threw in Drew Lock
Well, of
pretty
course.
much.
Okay, gotcha. So he's not like somebody they wanted, like
Yeah, they
maybe build
didn't like
around.
believe.
And that's kind of interesting because Seattle's in the same division, and like we said earlier, well, like I said earlier, the 49ers didn't seem to have a whole hell of a lot of confidence in Garoppolo from the day he started. So it's just kind of interesting that another NFC team would want him so badly.
Well, they didn't say it themselves. These are like just experts and the fans.
Okay.
Like you had people in the actual stands at the game holding signs. We need Jimmy Garoppolo,
Okay.
and we're talking about the most loyal fan base, arguably in the league, and they're telling you Drew Lock is not the guy. The 12th man and everything.
That's sad.
It is. So, and he hasn't even played a real game yet,
No,
and they're already ready to move
they
on.
gave, yeah, they gave up on him. Well, we'll see what happens. I think like the Browns have shit. I mean, they got Watson, they got Brissett, they have Joshua Dobbs, who went to Tennessee and played for the Steelers. He was a backup for
And
a
he's a
while.
guy with no hair.
Yeah, and it does. He looks like he doesn't have eyebrows.
Yeah, he has no hair.
Yeah,
He has
and
that condition.
the Jada Pinkett Smith can keep my life's name
No,
out your. Oh.
see, he doesn't have alopecia or whatever. He has a real condition where his whole body's hairless.
Gotcha. But basically, Josh Dobbs, his highlight was he was a Music City Bowl MVP, and then he's the third string, and then
Yeah,
rounding up, last but not least, we got Josh Rosen, who is a high class asshole and grew up playing tennis,
there you go.
and he was given up on by two other organizations.
Of course. So they have they they clearly have problems. So
I
that's why
just
they're trying to go for Jimmy G.
I just think the
But
Browns spent a
Cleveland,
shit ton of money on one quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to get him for cheap. I don't know what his contract situation is with the 49ers, but when they got him, he was like one of the hottest quarterbacks on the market because of his one season.
that's what Belichick does.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, good for him. Good for him for getting his money. I ain't mad at him for it, but um, I mean, they got four quarterbacks now. Just chill out. Like if they're gonna waste resources like that, like build up the receiving core.
So you're saying they should just ride out with who they have, hope
Yeah,
for the best.
yeah. Like if you're gonna spend
I
if
kind
you're
of
gonna
think so
spend one
too.
more if you're gonna spend one more cent on the offense, do it to help the quarterback that you spend a whole shit ton of money on. Don't spend money on a temp, especially when you got three of them already.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. You spent all these resources getting these quarterbacks in. You might as well see what they have and see if they can keep you. Even if you have to like every 2 games switch to a new new quarterback like that. Oh, I forgot what team did that. A couple of years ago, there was a team who, and I want to say it was the Cowboys. Like when it was the Cowboys, as a matter of fact. Um, Dak Prescott got hurt, and it was just like, all right, you you lost the game. Next quarterback,
That's so
and it was
Cowboys.
just like keep going through them until you
God,
find one.
that is like quintessential Cowboys.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a good move. If
Is it?
if the guy's not playing good, just go to the next one. You don't need to. I mean, 1 game is a little extreme. At least give him 2 to 3 games.
I guess.
But you could at least, yeah, you could keep going until you find someone who at least keeps you afloat. You're just trying to stay afloat. You're not trying to win the division. You're not gonna beat out the Bengals.
And I think Jacoby Brissett he has experience with starting with the Colts, and really all he needs to do is hand off to Nick Chubb,
Yeah.
and Kareem Hunt can
So
catch the passes.
yeah. So we'll see. Um.
But that's the best case scenario. Is they're just on the cusp of the playoffs or something, like a wild card berth, and Watson comes
Yeah, and
in.
when we get into our rankings, we'll talk about that.
Okay,
I'll tell you where I have them falling,
gotcha.
or yeah, you know. Um, but we're skipping ahead here. We'll go to some before we do our final rankings. We'll go through some quick wrestling news.
Ooh.
If we turn the dials here. So did you see that Sasha Banks got robbed?
I saw the little post that she had. Apparently, they stole hair products, which I thought was kind of
Yeah,
funny.
which was weird.
Like
What is this?
I guess there was somebody in a hood that broke into her SUV and then stole some shit from the trunk. Turns out it was hair products.
Yeah, they smashed her back window of her rental. It wasn't even her car. Um, and then they stole hair products. Now, I was wondering when I saw that story, did they know I'm breaking into Sasha Banks' car, or I'm just breaking into this car?
The
Oh, and it happens to be Sasha Banks's.
I think it was just a coincidence. I would assume that if they knew it was Sasha Banks's vehicle, I would assume that they would take more than just a few things out of the trunk. It just
Look for her.
it just sounded like a smash and grab.
Yeah, she parked in the wrong neighborhood.
Yeah, she was in Oakland. Just another reason not to go to California.
Yeah, California be better.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a crazy story. An even crazier story.
I guess we should say it's a good thing that she's okay. I know
Oh,
I know I've shit on Sasha Banks' professional career, but personally I'm glad she was not injured in this. And the only thing that happened was she has some broken glass and she's got to buy a couple more hairbrushes.
well, I think
Understandably
she's
though,
got
she's pissed off.
insurance.
Oh yeah, yeah. Still, I mean, I'm just glad that that's the worst that's happened out of all this
Yeah,
because
definitely.
it definitely could have been worse.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. And again, hopefully the person who did it didn't know it was her car. It was just a random thing, and it wasn't someone like stalking her and you know being weird.
See, the way I read it is they smashed into the window and basically grabbed the first couple things that they could find and then ran off. I would think if they knew it was Sasha Banks's car, they would get something a little bit more substantial.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've never I've never smashed into a car and coordinated a robbery though, so maybe it all went
Well,
according to plan.
I'm just thinking, I don't think you have time to like go through the car. No, I don't want that. I'm not gonna steal that. Let me check the glove box real quick. Like,
True.
from what I understand, this was in broad daylight too, so
Right.
you only had a small window of time to do this.
Yeah.
Just sitting in the car. Uh, uh, you okay, sir? Oh yeah, I'm just looking through the car to see what I want to steal. What do you think of this? You think I should steal this?
Well, maybe they were looking for the belt.
Oh, yeah, they could have been doing that too.
Because, she would
But
totally be carrying that around.
well, she gave it back. Remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But I think they get like replicas or something.
Who knows?
But
I'm, I don't know. I would think that, to me, that if you're just looking at it from an amateur lens, I guess, I would think that if you're going to target Sasha Banks specifically, that you would kind of watch her for a while and just make sure she doesn't like have company and stuff, that type of thing. Get her in a vulnerable area.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just a weird story, but glad everybody's okay on that.
Yep.
Um, Another weird story that came about was CM Punk.
Uh,
Oh, CM Punk.
uh,
This was quite the story that came out. Now, I'm going to briefly run through the whole thing here. So, as the story goes, so it goes all the way back to when he first came to AEW. He he had beef with Colt Cabana. They used to be friends, but something happened. There was a lawsuit. I'm not completely clear on what happened there, but they had a falling out. So when CM Punk got to AEW, he wanted to get rid of Colt Cabana.
well, what happened was CM Punk took the opportunity to use Colt Cabana, Colt Cabana's platform to shit on the WWE and smear the medical team and defame the whole company. WWE, of course, sued both of them. CM Punk indicated to Colt Cabana that he would cover all of his legal fees. And once the trial was over, Punk basically just said to go fuck yourself. And Colt Cabana sued him. And I think they settled. So Punk is not the good guy.
Yeah. So with that, when Punk got to AEW, he wanted to get rid of Colt Cabana. And as the story goes, since Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor, that kind of saved Colt Cabana because now he only works with Ring of Honor now instead of being on AEW TV.
I thought Colt Cabana was with NWA too. Or does he not do them anymore?
Not anymore. No.
Okay.
He's just in the AEW bubble. So fast forward from that, um, when Hangman Adam Page became champion, he kind of alluded to all this. He pretty much said during one of his promos, he said, CM Punk, um, you don't know what it is to be a champion. And again, I'm paraphrasing to kind of speed through this.
Right.
You don't know what it is to be a champion. It's not just what you do, like in the ring. It's what you do outside of the ring. Alluding to like people in the back hating him. CM Punk got pissed off with that promo.
Which, to be fair, there's been a lot of people that said he's really good, but he's a dick. And he's even admitted to being really hard to work with.
True. So, we fast forward to the pay-per-view, and you even called this, why are you having the ex-WWE guy beat your young up-and-coming talent?
Yeah, he was the guy that they were building since they started. He was the young, he was their Cena, basically.
Yeah, so to shine more light on it, CM Punk pretty much said, I'm not losing to this guy because of the promo.
Oh, Jesus.
So there's that. So CM Punk wins the title. Gets hurt. He goes away, and this Wednesday he came back. And he's challenging Jon Moxley for they're doing like a champion versus champion match to unify the titles. when he goes out for the promo, he before he even talks about John Moxley, he calls out Hangman Adam Page, and he says something to the effect of, "You want to challenge? You want a rematch? Come right now." This was not in the I wouldn't say script, but this was not in the bullet points of what he was supposed to say.
Mm-hmm.
He was upset. He said this.
Meltzer
He
even
called out,
confirmed it.
yeah, he called out Adam Page. Of course, Adam Page didn't come out because
He wasn't
that wasn't
planned to.
supposed to be in the
Right.
promo. And Punk said, "Yeah, make that's coward shit. Make sure the apology is as loud as the disrespect."
Mm.
So,
My
so
sentiments
CM Punk,
exactly. Now on to more important things. That's not cowboy shit. That's coward shit.
yeah, when he didn't come out for the
Yeah.
rematch, and again, he couldn't come out for the rematch because he
Because
wasn't
there's
supposed
nothing
to.
planned. There's nothing planned. They might have to plan something now, but basically, that might not happen either because, from what you just said, that Punk's actively politicked against him.
Yeah, he pretty much said, "I'm not losing to this guy." Um,
Do you know
and
what?
then
I'm sorry. Do you? What did Hangman say?
um,
Just that
he
he
pretty
he needs
much,
to be act like a champion in and outside the ring, something like that.
yeah,
Okay.
pretty much alluding to no one in the back liking him.
Right. Okay.
Um, and then so they got this unification match set for next week on free TV as opposed to your pay-per-view, and it's
Yeah.
supposed to be like one of the biggest matches in AEW history.
Good job,
This is
TNA
what kind of
2.0.
this is what kind of brought it all to light because everybody was like, "Why is this match on free TV next week?" Well, that's what kind of uncovered all this, and it got to the point where Punk was is threatening that he was going to quit AEW
Yeah. Apparently
because he was that
he's
pissed
done
off.
that. He's done that a couple times.
Yeah. So CM Punk is like, I don't know. He's proven himself to be a villain of wrestling. He's
Not
kind
even
of
a
proving
villain.
everybody right.
It's just what a waste. Like he could have been the next Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he, now he's the next Bret Hart. He's just bitter and just a shell of his former self. He thinks he's bigger than what he is or was. Um, and I don't know. I personally think if you're gonna try to be a tough guy, maybe not be 0-2 in real fights publicly.
Oh, well, I'm not even talking about that part. I'm just talking about him big timing. It reminds me of like what Hogan would have done. It sounds like something Hogan would have done. Like
Yeah,
or
Shawn Michaels.
you even Stone Cold. He walked out on because he was supposed to job to Brock Lesnar and he didn't want to do it, so he walked out.
Yeah. Well, no, I
And
think, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, he's big leaguing him, but I just, I don't know. Punk has this air about him that like he's a badass, and I don't know. I just obviously he's not.
well, you even have when he was doing his promo with John Moxley to set up the title match.
Yeah.
They even had a little back and forth, which was funny. John Moxley said, he's the heart and soul of AEW. And then Punk said, "That's fine. You be the heart and soul. I'll be the dollars and cents. You know, I'm
Yeah.
I'm the guy who brings in the money." John Moxley came back and said, We both know you're here because you ran out of money, so don't give me that shit. So
That's
they
funny.
had a funny back and forth.
That's good. I really want to like John Moxley, but I just can't.
Yeah, he's not for everybody, but it's definitely trouble in paradise, I would say, for AEW. They're
It
kind
sounds
of
like it sounds like Punk thinks he's bigger than what he is, and I don't know. Like you, AEW is not big enough to act like fucking Hulk Hogan in. You know what I mean?
yeah, Punk, and he's using that against them. Like, hey, I'm not losing to this guy, or I'm CM Punk,
Yeah.
and
But that's just it.
you're
You're
putting
CM Punk.
ultimatums on this company. Who do you think you are? But and then on the same note, they can't get rid of him because it is CM Punk, and they're trying to land a TV deal, so they kind of have to keep him
No, they don't. Get rid
at
of him.
least until they. I mean, at least until they land the deal, you gotta play ball.
Fuck that shit. You gotta send a message that nobody's bigger than the company. Like you start. That's how. What? You start letting these fucking the talent walk all over you. Then you got just the NBA.
Definitely. So it's interesting how that's gonna play out. I think,
Like I
like
see
you
what you're
said, I
saying.
think it's
Like
gonna.
for you want to get like a big TV deal to help the company grow and blah 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 blah. But at the same time, if you have this cancer that's just bringing everybody down, how's that going to be successful in the long run? If you get Jules, but you have AIDS, you know,
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
mean
I think
nothing.
hopefully for the company's sake, they can turn it around. They
I
can
don't
turn
know.
it into like a storyline. It would, if they can turn it into a storyline, I think it'll be good because you know it's a story.
I just want Punk to go away. He's like fucking Star Wars at this point. Just like he was, again. He had that run that where he was the hottest thing. Like he transcended wrestling with his pipe bomb promo. Like that'll be one of the greatest moments in wrestling history. And WWE failed him 100%. But then he just turned
Yeah.
into a bitter bitch, and he failed
Well, I
at
think
every endeavor he's done since. And then, as a cherry on top, he went back to talk about the WWE. Now I know he never said he's not going to work with WWE, and he signed with Fox Sports, so he's not going to be directly under WWE. But he was working with them, so regardless of what technicality he wants to use, he's a failure by his own definition because he went back to work for the WWE. And now he's with
of
TNA
course he
2.0.
just
And
wants the money.
that's fine. But it's not just that. It's just his fucking attitude. And he's just not. He was lightning in a bottle, and that bottle shattered years ago, decades ago. And he's not. He'll never be
Yeah,
what he was.
he definitely. I would. I personally, and even back then, when it was rumored that he was going to come back, I always said that moment was like the top of his career. He shouldn't come back. Like that's it's just going to tarnish his legacy. It's almost like, and bear with me here, okay? Because I'm going to make the comparison, but just bear with me. Don't go crazy. It's like when Michael Jordan, came back and went to the Wizards. Like it was going to do nothing but tarnish his legacy,
So you're
and it
comparing
did.
CM Punk to Michael.
I said, I said, bear with me here. Just because I know people in the comments will go crazy when I compare CM Punk and Michael Jordan in the same sentence. But that's the only comparison is when Jordan went back to the Wizards, it just tarnished his legacy. Well, it didn't. ultimately, people still he's still the greatest, but people kind of just nix that part of the history. But
No, the reality is
if
that
you remember it,
the Punk tarnished his legacy. He started off the gate with that podcast with CM Punk. Then he had that public lawsuit with the WWE. All, by the way, Colt Cabana was involved in. Um, and then he had that failure of a UFC career. Um, I guess he did some comic book shit. He's done some shitty movies, but he's never been able to escape the WWE shadow. That's why he came back to talk about wrestling. And then AEW came along, and they were willing to pay him way more than he deserves. And now he's there, and he's upset that it's not run like WWE. And he's not treated like a god. He thinks he's the reason. He thinks he's Chris Jericho.
well,
They
no,
already
he's
have.
not upset at the company. He's upset that people are talking. I don't know. He's like, why are these people able to talk about me without, he thinks he's above, I don't know, wrestling as a whole, and he should be giving everything.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know him, but I just what it
He's a
sounds like,
cunt.
that seems like what he's
I don't
doing.
have to know him. He's, by all accounts, all sample sizes, he is a cunt.
And we'll leave it at that. But if there's more, we'll definitely update you. I just hope that they turn it into a work and just make a big storyline out of this, which, if they can, that'll be cool. If not, then that's even more. We're gonna watch AEW go up in flames, and that'll be something else to talk about.
I think they are,
Well, let's get on to
cause
the.
well, just real quick, I think, well, just to wrap up CM Punk, I hope he and Hangman have a real fight, and I hope Hangman beats the shit out of him. But the the quote unquote big name WWE guys that they got in CM Punk and Daniel Bryan have really backfired for AEW. Um, you know, Punk being a temperamental bitch, and Daniel Bryan with his concussion issues. Just kind of interesting.
It is. It's almost like they need story, but that's a, that's another story. They need a storyline, not just bringing in talent. You
Hmm.
need a long story, a good story. And I'll say it again for the final time. You need an NWO level story, and that will. You don't care about the talent. You give me an NWO level story, you win. And that goes for WWE too. Whoever can whoever can capture that story first. And that's what I'm saying. If they can turn this into a story, because you
So
have
wait,
everybody talking about it.
you basically want them to reboot the NWO? Am I hearing that correctly?
No, I
Okay.
said an NWO level story.
Oh, okay.
Like, of course you can't recreate the NWO, but just
Okay.
something that's on that level that just has everybody talking.
Gotcha.
And this has the baseline of it because everybody's talking about it.
The
If
best
you can keep
story,
that going somehow,
I remember was CM Punk's story, where he won
yeah,
the championship. That was the last story that was even remotely compelling.
yeah, you need something like
Well, I mean,
that.
there was when Brock Lesnar just suplexed John Cena for a match. That was kind of fun to watch. I like to watch that every now and then.
Oh, the SummerSlam
Yeah,
squash match.
yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that was definitely a surprising one.
Yeah, I
But
remember
let's get
seeing.
into these
Okay.
rankings.
Okay.
since we're almost out of time here.
Oh shit,
We're
we
gonna
are.
have to kind of fly through them now,
Oh Jesus, yeah, we
but
are.
that's okay.
Skipping through
The
video reel.
NFL, yeah.
Alrighty, NFL. So, I'm sure it sounded like when we were talking off air that you went a little more detail. So, can I just kind of tell you what I have?
Well,
Or-
we'll go team by team.
oh, okay.
We can do that still.
Okay.
Um, Let me get the list up here. Let's start with the. So how we're gonna do it? Let's tell the people here, and if I remember, I'm gonna put this up on a screen so you can follow along. We have one to 1 to 3 games, 4 to 7 games, 8 to 10 games, 11 to 13, and then 14 and over. And this is just like where they're going to finish in the regular season. So we start off with the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
You want to go first?
Well, I see. I didn't get to the actual records for each team. I will say that the Cardinals I had third in their division, so that probably puts them in what nine.
9 wins.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's about where I had them too.
Oh, okay,
You
cool.
have they bring in they bring in well, Kyler Murray has his his study issues.
Yeah.
You lose Hopkins, but they lose Hopkins for the first 6 game of the season. They pick up Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown from the Baltimore Ravens. So um, when I looked over their schedule, I had them in about the 8 to 10 range. That's competing for a playoff spot,
Yeah, I had them in a wild
whether they
card.
make it or not. Yeah, whether they make it or not, I didn't go that far into it, but I definitely have them competing for a spot.
I well, they're lucky that the Seahawks are also in the division, and they're by
Yeah, that's two
default
wins
better.
right there.
Right. So I don't think that they're better than the 49ers and the Rams, but yeah, I think they'll be good, just not great. I don't think Kyler Murray's great, and I think the cracks between his relationship with his team will just continue to grow.
Okay, so we both say 8 to 10.
Yep.
Atlanta Falcons. They are high on
Uh,
Marcus Mariota.
well,
I
somebody
don't know
is.
why again. I can go first on this one. I put them
Yeah.
in the 1 to 3 range.
Yeah, I had them last in the division, so 1 to 3 would not surprise me in the least.
Well, no more to say about that. But they do have Desmond Ritter. I am high on him. So
Yeah,
there's that.
I want him to be good. I don't know necessarily how he fits in an NFL system just yet, but um, the praise that
Well, I
Malik
just like
Willis
what
is
I
getting
saw.
is I hope he's good.
Baltimore Ravens. They they lose their number one receiver.
Yep.
Um, you have Jackson, who's probably going to be the highest paid because they're supposed to be closing his contract by the first week of the season,
Yeah.
so he'll be the highest paid quarterback.
Another
Um,
quarterback to not win a Super Bowl to be the highest quarterback. Right.
That's just where the market is.
Yep.
Where do you have them?
I had them second in the AFC North. I think I don't think they're going to be better than the Bengals. However, I did have them. Uh, this is one of the teams that I did actually have a record for. I had them at the 12 win range.
Okay, 12 wins. I had them in the. I have them in the 8 to 10 range.
Okay.
They. I think Jackson's overrated. And I put them on the same level. I put them on the same level as where the Cardinals are.
I agree with you with Jackson. I think, but the Ravens are such a good organization. I don't know. They're just so well coached. They're really good.
They are. I also took into account that they had lost their number one receiver. So,
Yeah.
truth be told, I don't know who Jackson is going to be throwing the ball to,
Right.
um, other than his tight ends. So
I just
there was
figured he'd
that
be throwing to
part of it too.
himself.
And I don't. I also don't know where their defense is going to be. So
Gotcha.
I know it'll be good, but I don't know how good their defense is. That's why I put them 8 to 10 range, same level as the Cardinals.
Okay.
Buffalo. Buffalo's our next team.
Um, they, I had them at 15-2.
All right, so you put them in the top tier. I also have them in the top tier. I think they're going to be in competition to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
They're probably the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl.
they are.
Um, they they added Von Miller. They just have weapons for days. Justin Gabe, he I think that's his name, Justin Gabe. He came on at the end of the season, played in the preseason game. He's been looking good. Josh Allen's looking good. They just look unstoppable. So, um, yeah, definitely going to be competing for the best record in the league and the number one seed, and probably playing in the Super Bowl.
I think they will be. If skipping
Um, Carolina Panthers, Baker Mayfield.
ahead. I actually had them second in the division. Um, but that's because it's Bucks, Saints, Falcons, and Panthers. So I think Mayfield is good enough for the Panthers to be better than the Saints and the Falcons. Um, maybe 8-9 wins.
Okay, so you put them on the same level as the Cardinals. I had
I
them
guess I do.
actually have them one step below.
Okay,
Um,
that's
I think
fair. Yeah.
they'll be on the I think they'll be on the higher end of the 4 to 7 games. Like I think they're going to be steering more towards 7 wins than 4 wins.
Okay.
But um, yeah, you have Baker Mayfield, you have Christian McCaffrey, but I don't know that there's a lot of weapons there, and
Well, they play
they're
the Saints and
clearly
they play the Falcons. That's 4 wins.
well. I, okay, okay. So yeah, that's where that's where we have them. Chicago Bears.
The Bears, the Bears. Um, I'm not very high on them. I'd say probably 6 wins. They're going to be better than the Lions in their division.
Okay.
I want
I also have them.
I want them to be good because I'm really high on Justin Fields, but I just don't think it's it for them.
Yeah, I also have them in that 4 to 7 range. Justin Fields is a star. Well, he's a good player. I wouldn't say he's a star yet.
Right.
Um, Now, the one thing that I've noticed when I watch the Bears play is the offensive line can't protect shit. They were playing. They played Seattle in the preseason game. Justin Fields on the field, and he was running around like a headless chicken
Right.
pretty much the whole game. Now, Seattle is in a rebuild, and if they're looking like all stars, then what is the actual good team going to look like? So I don't think they'll be able to protect Fields, which is gonna which is gonna have them struggle. But I do think he's good enough to win a couple games, and I think um, not that I know a lot about the defense, but I think just traditionally the Bears defense they'll be good enough to keep them in a couple games. So I put them in that 4 to 7 range as well.
Okay. I'd say for the sake of time, why don't you go ahead and just why don't you list off what you have, and we'll wrap about it.
Oh no, we can keep going.
Oh, okay.
We got it. Bengals next team.
They'll probably excuse me. They'll probably be the second best team in the AFC. I had them in about 13 wins.
All right. I mean, we don't have to go into like deep explanation. I also had them in the same 11 to 13 range. They'll definitely win their division, and yeah, I mean, it's not too much to say about them.
Right.
They were in the Super Bowl last year. Um, Browns. Where do you put the Browns?
Browns probably nine wins.
Okay.
They then you know what, 7 to 8.
You said 7 to 8. That's two different tiers. I need one or the other.
The 7 tier. My bad.
um, I had them in the same place. The 4 to 7 games. If Watson was playing, it's a different story. But
Yeah.
we talked about it earlier. Watson's out for 11 games. They have kind of a tough schedule, so they do have weapons, but I don't think enough weapons to overcome losing your $230 million quarterback.
Right.
Um, Dallas Cowboys.
Um, I had them in the 12 wins. They'll definitely win the NFC East. If they don't, it'll be a shame. It'll be their fault. It'll also be the end of Mike McCarthy.
It will be, but I have them in the same range. I don't know if they win the division. I mean, as a Cowboys fan, objectively, of course they're going to win the division, but the Eagles have a softer schedule than the Cowboys on paper. So it's going to be hard just on that fact to see the Eagles not winning the division just by maybe one or two more games. But I also still have Cowboys in the 11 to 13 win range. Um, Denver Broncos with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is why I didn't have like records for all the teams, because this division just kind of fucked with my head so much, because I had like the Panthers and the Vikings going into the wild card, but then like I
Mm.
started looking at the schedule for for the AFC West teams. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, there's the Raiders and the Chargers and the Broncos, and yeah, of course they're all gonna like beat up on each other. Um, I don't know, man. I could see the Broncos winning 12, or I can see them uh, win a 9.
Okay. So where you want to put them?
Oh, let's put them in shit 12.
All right. And then for me, I have them pretty much the same, 11 to 13 win range. You got Russell Wilson. I think they'll win a lot of games. Don't think they'll win the division. I think that's still going to Kansas City,
Yeah,
but um, I
I
think
think
they'll
it's
be second.
it's Kansas City's until Kansas City loses.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I look at it.
Next up, we got the Lions.
Lions will suck. They'll they'll be in the last tier, like they always are.
I have them there too. They have Jared Goff. Um, Green Bay, Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers calling out his young receiving core. Where do you put them?
uh, I think they still win their division, probably 10 wins.
Okay. And then for me, I put them that 11 to 13 range.
Okay,
Um,
so you value them a little higher.
yeah, and it's just like a couple of games here and there,
Sure.
but I don't know. They have the young receiving core, but they've just been a team that's been consistently good in the regular season, not the postseason
Right.
per se, but in the regular season. So
Well, then
I
they
definitely put
basically have
them.
6 wins right off the bat in their own division, so that helps.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Houston Texans. Uh,
See the Lions.
yeah, I have the Texans in the special range of they'd be lucky to win a game. So yeah, 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Uh, oh, I never did my Lions. For me, I put the Lions in the 4 to 7 range.
I
Um,
thought you did.
no, I didn't. I
Okay.
put them in the 4 to 7 range. I think they're a little bit better than Houston, but they're not as bad as Houston. But
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to win a lot of games.
Although
Um,
Houston apparently
the
has the greatest
Colts.
quarterback ever.
I don't even know who Houston's quarterback is.
I don't either.
The
Uh,
Colts.
Colts I had winning 9 games. They'll be second in the AFC South.
I had them around that range as well. Um, they got Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
So there you go. Um, I mean, I don't know a
Right.
lot to
Yeah.
say
Fair
about
enough.
them. Um, Jacksonville.
They'll might be 6 games. So the what 4 to 7 range.
Yeah, 4 to 7.
Yeah.
I put them in the 1 to 3 game range.
Okay.
Um, Trevor Lawrence, he's definitely a good quarterback, but I don't think they have enough pieces to A, protect him, B, to compete offensively. They still need to add more pieces before they're an actual contender.
Yeah, but I think they could eke
Um,
out like 4 wins.
I guess they could. Oh, it's too late now. I've
Yeah.
already
Fair enough.
locked it in. I forgot they play the Texans twice.
Yeah.
Um, Kansas City.
I had them at 13 wins. They'll win their division.
All right. I probably put them too high, but I put them in the 14 plus range.
Okay. No, I
Uh,
mean, I don't think you're wrong there. I think honestly, it's either the Bills or the Chiefs are going to be like the best record.
Yeah, I think those two will be competing for that number one seed. So
Yeah.
yeah, have them both like having the best records.
Watch the
Next
Jaguars
team.
win the AFC.
No way. Next team is the Chargers.
I had them last in their division. They'll probably win 8 games.
8 games. And then I had them. Golly, that thing doesn't make sense. Oh, I had them in the 11-13 win.
Okay.
So if you're keeping track, that is the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Chargers all have either 14, 11, or 11-13 wins. So that's I don't even know if that's possible, but
I
that's
don't
just
think it
far.
is.
They have the potential.
See, that's another thing. I'm like, I don't. I'm not smart enough to do that.
Well, I didn't like. Yeah,
Because you
I
got to
didn't like
remember who played
count off
who and
each. Yeah. Um, Los Angeles Rams.
shit. Where are they? I had them winning. No, I didn't. I think the Niners are going to win the NFC West. So I think Rams are 10, 11-10. Or if that's a different tier than whatever their 11's at.
Okay, it is a different tier.
Okay.
I had them one step higher, 14. I
Okay.
think they'll. I think they're the team that's going to be number one in the NFC. So
I
put
just
them at the highest tier.
I just heard about all the pieces that they lost. I don't know if they necessarily added anything.
That's true.
So that was my
I
reason.
can definitely say they're not going to repeat the Super Bowl, but regular season wise, I think they can. I thought they needed to be there.
Yeah.
Um, the Oakland Raidies.
I had them third in the AFC West. I believe they could win about 9 games.
All right, I have them same tier, 8 to 10 wins. We already know my AFC West standings don't make sense, but
Yeah.
that's where I had them anyway. They're winning more games than they can possibly win. Um, Miami.
Um,
And, we bring in Tyreek Hill. You got the most accurate quarterback in NFL history, apparently.
I'd say 7-10. Or hold on, is that right?
No,
I'd
you
say
got 4 to 7, or 8 to 10.
okay, thank you. I'd say more 4-7.
That's where I have them too. I don't believe in Tua. One of the harder teams to pick, the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh man. Well, I had them second in the division, but that don't mean nothing. Um, I'd say 8-10.
That's where I had them too. One of those teams that'll be competing for a playoff spot. Um, Patriots.
I had them at 11 games, so the 11-14 range. I think they'll be second in the division. Now I'm going kind of based on the theory that the same as the Ravens, that more of the organization than the talent. I believe in Belichick. So
Hmm.
Um, I could be wrong, but it's 11 games. Then after looking at their schedule,
I had them in the 8 to 10. Same reason. I believe in Belichick. Mac Jones does look pretty good,
mm-hmm.
and I think they win the division. I think they're. Do I think they win the division?
No, because the Bills are in the division.
No, they don't. But they'll definitely be competing for a playoff spot,
Yeah,
and they'll probably snag one of them. So I put them in the 8 to 10 range. Next team is the Saints, clearly going through a rebuild.
yeah,
Um, I put them, for me, I put them in the 4 to 7 range.
yeah. 4 to 7 sounds solid. I have them better than the Falcons. So if that's if that's all I can say about you, then yeah, 4 to 7's fair.
Yeah, I have you. Yeah, I say you're not as bad as the Texans and the Falcons.
Right.
So then that automatically bumps you up to the next level. Um, Speaking of bad as the Texans and Falcons, New York Giants. Where you put that? That's not
um,
leading you in any way, by the way.
yeah, they're definitely 4 to 7 as well. I have them. Yeah, they're not they're not as bad as the Redskins.
I actually have the Giants in the 1 to 3 range. I don't think they're good at all.
I don't know. I like Dabble. I think he'll if there's anything to get out of him, he'll get the most out of it. I think they're worth at least 4 games, at least.
Okay. And then we go to the other side of New York, the Jets. And if it's bagging milfs, you put them in the S tier. But where do you put them on the football field?
1 to 3, they'll be awful.
I put them in the 4 to 7 range.
Okay.
Um, just because bagging milfs and stuff. And what about the Eagles?
Well, they'll be second in the division. Do you remember what I had for the Cowboys? Because I sure don't.
You had them in the 11 to 13
Okay.
range.
So yeah, about 8 to 10. Yeah, 8 to 10.
Okay, and then for me, I had the I had them in the 11 to 13 range
Okay.
with the Cowboys. Like I said, I think the Cowboys will win a lot of games, but I think the Eagles will win the division because their schedule is just that damn soft.
I
Like
don't know.
they have an easy schedule, so it's hard to not pick them to win these games.
But they have Jalen Hurts.
They do. They also have AJ Brown. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh will be awful. I have them in the 4 and 7 range.
Yeah, I actually have them in the same range. You would think they will run more just from you know history, but I had there's nothing. Yeah, there's in the 4 to 7 range for me. I hope I'm wrong. I like the Steelers, but that's where I have them.
Well,
Seattle.
you can't win them all.
Yeah,
Seattle will be awful. 1 to 3.
that's where I have them as well. They are in a full-blown rebuild. So there you go. Sorry to say, Seattle fans, but you're in a rebuild, so you're gone for a while. San Francisco.
I had them. Excuse me. I had them at the winning their division. Um, I think they will be in the 11 to 14 game range.
All right, and then I had them actually have them in the 8 to 10 range, competing for a playoff spot. That's just because I don't know enough about them. Like they're one of those wild card teams. Yeah, they definitely have Debo Samuel's
Mm.
best receiver, aka player in the league,
They have Kittle,
arguably. They have Kittle, so
the
they have
Joe
weapons.
Dierte.
Not 100% sure where Lance is, but if you listen to everybody, he's a bona fide star. Um, so
Yeah, I
they're
mean,
like one of those.
I might be a little because like I said, I just saw like a couple highlight videos of his, and he looked fun to watch. And I do know that the 49ers they're pretty much a complete team. I mean, yeah, I think their defense needs some work, but in terms of a team that's able to win now, they're really close to it. So if Trey Lance plays better than Jimmy Garoppolo, then I don't see any reason why they're being good or why they wouldn't be good. Now, if Trey
Right.
Lance isn't good, then obviously, or he plays like a rookie, then
Hmm.
so yeah, it all pretty much depends on how good he is.
Yeah, they're definitely a swing team. Um, and he's also not playing in the preseason, so there's even less to go off of. Tampa Bay. We're almost
Yeah,
done here, by the way.
I don't think they'll be that great with the new coach and the offense, and Brady just doesn't seem to have his head in it. I'd say 8 to 10.
All right, I put him in the 11 to 13 range,
Okay.
just because I don't bet against Brady. Like I stopped betting against Brady, so if he's playing, I think think he wins. But well, I guess there's nothing really more to say there. Tennessee Titans.
I had them at the 8 to 10 game. They'll win the AFC South.
Okay. And then I had them um, a little bit higher. I had them 11 to 13 range.
Okay.
Um, Winning the division. I'm a little concerned that it seems like their offense of their offensive strategy is give the ball to Henry.
Yeah, that does seem to
So
be their whole strategy.
like that seems to be what they have built. So,
But
you know, God forbid he gets hurt.
it's like the Giant said to Kevin Nash when Kevin Nash said that all he had was a choke slam. And he said, "Well, why would I use something else when this is all I need?"
That's true. I'm just concerned, like, what if the guy gets hurt or something? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he will
So,
eventually, or his career will be cut short.
yeah, like he runs the ball, so like they're giving him.
Viciously.
They almost 2 years ago they almost did. He almost had 400 carries.
Yeah.
So he's definitely he's a workhorse. So when they're building everything around that, it seems like it's something that's not good to do. But
Yeah.
anyway, that I still have them winning the division and with that 11 range. And then our final team is the Washington Racial Slurs Commanders.
The Redskins will suck 1 to 3 games. Yeah.
All right, I had them a little higher, um,
4 to 7.
just because the Giants are. I put the Giants at the bottom, so
Oh, okay.
I have them 4 to 7 wins.
Okay. See, I had the Giants third in the division, so But either
Yeah,
way,
there you go. We're
I
just
wouldn't be
swapped.
surprised.
But there you go. You only have one team with 14 plus wins, and I have
No, nice.
three teams with 14 plus wins. But again, I have two teams from the same division winning 13 games, so it can't be possible. But that's our expert opinions on the record, on the schedule, the rankings.
Experts.
Yeah. And again, we'll put this up so you can go back to it later. We'll revisit it playoff time to see where we were right and wrong. But we've held you long enough, everybody. On your way out, hit that like button, and we will see you next week.
Until next week, have a good night.
Good night.